What's up, guys? Treehouse here. Text messages. You can either be the one sending them or receiving them. And a lot of times, depending on who you are, you do not want to be sending text messages. And in these messages, you're going to see how unhinged and how off the walls one gets. So, to give it a little context, these messages are between friends who are not romantically involved whatsoever. The female will state that she is involved with someone else, and the guy just can't accept that. And then it all started when he asked her for this particular favor, in which it just goes down from hill from there. So, yeah. So, off the bat, we started going with the girl going, well, I ended up telling my mom that you asked for sex. I was super upset and uncomfortable. She told me to stop hanging out with you, so I don't think she'd appreciate if you came over honestly. Look at that. He'd asked for sex, and it must have been pretty cringy and must have been pretty fucking awkward how he did that for, he went with that. And then he goes off. Look at that, by the way. If you have to like text like that, that's a big fucking flag already. Then, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that. I just said that because I thought that's what you wanted. I want to just spend time with you and get to know you, honestly. If sex ever comes up, that's cool. But that's not what I want. That's not what I'm looking for. I promise. I'm really not that kind of a guy. Usually when people say that, they are that kind of guy. And he says, I'm sure you can tell with this fucking emoji. I hate that. Like, you're already giving like psycho vibes, you know? She says, what made you think that's what I wanted? When we spoke over the phone, I thought I was clear. I wasn't attracted to you on a non-platonic level, and you know I'm seeing someone. So off the charts, he's already fucking up by stating that he wants sex after knowing that she wasn't attracted to him in that level and she's seen someone. And this guy couldn't just take the hint. Instead, his noodle up there, it's cooking with such delusions that like he wants to believe that is not the case. Then he goes, yeah, I'm just awkward is all. And I didn't think it was serious between you and him, so I thought you was trying to signal something to me. What the fuck do you mean that you didn't think it was serious for you and between her and him? Like, usually when people can't take the hint that like they're seeing someone else and they just go through with it anyways, it just calls a recipe for disaster, Run for the hills. All right. Then he says, I'm sorry if I was wrong. I tend to overthink these things. I'm glad we can hang out anyways. But if you're serious about this other guy and there's no chance that we'll be together, then I'll leave you. Alone. Take care, Isabel. Maybe we can hang in the future when I get a girlfriend and I'm not such a horny bastard. You see right there when he says take care, Isabel, maybe we can hang in the future, like such delusion warrants concern, because like what the fuck? You just said I'll leave you alone, and then you're gonna say maybe in the future we're gonna hang out after I get a girlfriend, like, and then he says I'm not such a horny bastard, dude. Don't be like this guy, okay? This is exactly what not to do. He starts off the next sentence, the triple, quadruple text with saying you're really not attracted to me. Maybe we can't see the timestamp, but maybe it's because she was most obviously leaving him unread. Then she says, I'm not attracted to you, no. And then he goes with a triple text, maybe quadruple. Then what was all that about the other day? Maybe that was nothing, but I felt something. You really didn't feel anything? And then she says, no, not really. I actually noticed more red flags than usual because I'm sure already seeing the text messages like this, you can see how he is already in person. You do not want to be next to a guy like that. Probably insufferable too. He says, okay, well, I'm not going to argue with you right now. Why would you ask me to watch movies with you and all that other stuff? What is his strategy? Like he's believing like she's playing checkers and his main goal is to try and figure out her strategy. Like, come on, man. This is just life, okay? Just take the hint. She don't fuck with you. And then she says, that's what friends do. And then he says, classic, It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that a friend wants to hang out with someone else to watch, go to the movies or hang out, shoot some pool, go to the bar. To this guy, hanging out means flirtatious intent. It means that, you know, someone's getting laid tonight. And then after that, he says, I don't think you can be friends with men like that. I don't know how this guy, whatever is in his brain doesn't make sense. It's all scrambled eggs. She says, but it seems like you only care to hang out because you want to be more than friends. I have plenty of male friends like that. Because she already knows how guys are. She already knows, majority of the people just want to get laid, hanging out with girls. Then he says, well, I'm down to do that anyways. I just thought you were using me emotionally. Oh my god, here we go with the reverse Uno card, yo. Now he's gonna hit her with the, what you call that, gaslighting, yo. Here we go. She says, how? Then he says, like I said, women take sex seriously and men take emotions seriously. You can use me emotionally just as much as I can use you sexually. It's not fair to say that only men use women. This guy's delusions are off the charts. You said men take love seriously and women take sex seriously. I personally take sex seriously and I love even more seriously. And then he says, I don't know about that. She says, I can use you, yes, but how did I? Explain. Then he says, I think you're playing games with me emotions. No, I think you're playing games with my emotions. Yep. How? You're just playing dumb, No, I don't. I know your type. So maybe my boy thinks that she's playing hard to get, but in this circumstance, no, because I don't know if I said it. For some context, they were friends for a while until he started being weird. And then, he came up with that, let's have sex to her after knowing everything that she's going through with the man and the fact that she don't find him personally, attracted. So to say that she's playing dumb after saying that, she doesn't see you that way, you gotta, that's a person that can't take no for an answer, very, very much of a red flag right there. You gotta run for the hills. People like that become unpredictable. Okay, if that's what you think, I'm not going to try and convince you otherwise. Well, at least I understand. Doesn't that warrant any respect? He needs respect after talking like that. You think you understand, but I don't think you do, she says. And then he says maybe. He's the one playing these fucking games, She's not. She says, do I deserve less respect because I don't want... Do I deserve less respect because I don't want to sleep with you? I don't understand. He says, no. You deserve less respect because you use men emotionally. I don't use women sexually. While all the while, she's just hanging out with someone as friends. What? She says, how do I use men emotionally? He says, I expect a mutual relationship. You act like you like them or something. And then she says, I'm sorry you thought that. I really don't know how you thought that hanging out with you and treating you with a human decency is flirting or whatever. He says, maybe I'm wrong. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's other women that use men emotionally. You really think you're different? Right here, yo. I'm telling you, the gaslighting is unreal. And then he says, you really think you're different? That's why I offered to have sex with you, because I want to show you I'm ready and it's your choice. But she says you still have the expectation of sex. This guy had the decency to say, I offered to have sex with you. I offered to have sex with you. Who, bro, who are you? Get out of here. You're no one to be offering sex. That's not how this works, okay? It's not like an offering to the shrine or something, okay? It's all about consent. And and two people being compatible with each other, and you guys are not compatible because you're showing that you're just an unhinged weirdo. This guy says, can't you just say no? Isn't it cute at all? And she says, I did say no. And like I said, these people can't take no for an answer. They gotta argue, and they say they don't argue. They gotta just keep digging themselves a hole. He says to have a guy offer so casually. I don't though. So hold on, isn't it cute at all to have a guy offer so casually? I don't though. It's not cute. No, it's just definitely not cute. This is some weird shit. I'm okay. Okay, let me see what he says. I'm okay with not having sex. Okay, well, I thought it might be. I'm sorry. I take it back. Look at this guy. He went on a rant. I should know better. You really didn't say you were too serious about the other guy, though. For the record, you made it seem pretty obvious you weren't into him that much. I respect that normally, but it was different this time. She says, whether I'm seeing someone or not shouldn't legitimize me not wanting to have sex with you, though. Good point. Fair point on her. Like, they're not seeing the same thing. And then he says, yeah, but the offer wouldn't be so offensive if I'm just looking out for you. I just want you to be happy. How are you looking out for me, though? She says. He says, if you're not happy with the other guy, I would rather be your boyfriend or something because I think you'll like me. At least I'm trying. Oh, my Lord. Look at this guy. Because I think you like me, bro. Chill out, man. No one likes a fucking guy with such an inflated ego. She says, everything you said about spreading myself thin and talking to just anyone was so I could make more time for you. It's so self-interested. I don't like you like that. I'm actually really invested in who I'm seeing. See? Well, it's about balance, Isabel. Hit her with the government name. I don't even want you to see me if you're serious about this guy. Maybe it's not about me. Did you think of that? See, it's always about them. What is it about them? You hanging out with other guys. He says you hanging out with guys for no reason and using them emotionally. It's not fair to yourself or the guy. And then she says, okay, well, thanks for your concerns. This guy, man, oh, man. All I want from you or anyone else in my life is just to see them make sense of it all and I do something reasonably. So I guess we're not going to hang out after this anymore. And maybe this would just be the way you are. She hits him with a reverse Uno. And maybe this would just be the way you are too. He says, maybe we're good for each other because we can talk like this. Did you talk to the other guy like this? We actually communicate better than this, she says. I think this is right, though, he says. This is balance. I really think so. This is people who can really relate to each other. How do you talk to him? What do you mean better? He cannot accept the fact that she likes someone else and they're better than what they talk to each other. Because he wants to know that whatever the other guy is doing, he's doing way better than what he's doing. So, this guy right here, it's so unhinged. And she could have just, like, blocked him, but she's trying because they're friends. And she's just trying to, like, salvage the little friendships they have, but it doesn't seem like it's going to work out. I don't feel like I can relate to you, though, and I don't think you understand where I'm coming from. He says, I do, though. Why else would I be asking these questions? Think about it, Isabel. This guy with the government name, I know you understand. You're a smart girl. Ooh, cringe right there. That was cringe. She says, when we communicate, he takes what I say into consideration, and I do the same. Sometimes we don't agree, but we always try to have a level of understanding between us. Facts. That's what you want between two people. He says we are agreeing right now, even though we're arguing. This is like magic. This is what it's all about. This is what magic is? This is what it's all about? Bro, this girl should just block you and just run for the hills. You talking like this in a text messages, I can't imagine what you are in person. Like, some people, their noodles are so fried up there that they just believe like whatever's in their head is going on in the real world. So, the fact that he says that, like, I know you understand, you're a smart girl. Your egotistical head, man, doesn't allow you to, like, look through the normal lens of what everyone else is seeing. She says, how are we agreeing? I promise you, he says. What are we agreeing on? We understand each other even though we don't agree. That's what I mean by magic. Delusions. I don't understand you, though. Well, you must understand something or else you'd be cutting me off right now. I've been used emotionally. You can see that. I'm not cutting you off because I'm a decent human being, she says. And see, she's just trying to salvage what a little friendship, if any, they have left. I've been stonewalled before, and it's not fair. See, she makes way more sense of what this guy is going on about his ramblings. Like, I barely made sense of whatever he's saying. Bro, I'm telling you, he really believed they were together, because or else he wouldn't have never offered the sex. What a piece of shit. He says, yeah, I've been there too. Obviously, there's something wrong with us. I don't know what exactly. If I was using you emotionally, we wouldn't be having this conversation. And then he says, but it has to do with using people emotionally. Can't we just learn together? We don't have to be in, we don't have to be each other's possessions, but we can follow rules and respect each other. I really believe that. I know you understand. God damn, this is scary. This is scary when a guy talks to you like this, or anyone, you know, even a girl, anyone. Doesn't matter what gender. Go ahead and date this guy if you want, and you'll see that you can't talk to him like this, and it's not gonna work out. And then please message me. Wow, this guy was fuming texting this. This was back to back. You're welcome to believe that, she says, but my relationship with him is actually the best I've had romantically. Ooh, hit him with the stone cold right there. I've told you everything I know, Isabel. Again, with the government name. This guy. Okay, I'm not jealous because I know you don't talk the same way. There's something romantic even in this. I hope you understand, but I'll leave it at that. This guy think that this is gonna go somewhere in that noodle of his. She says, you don't know anything about my relationship with him, though. This is all assumption and speculation on your part. Believe what you like, though. Yeah, I know what I see. See? Delusions. And there you have it, guys. Creepy text messages from the get. And there you guys have it. Unhinged text messages. I'll try to cover more like that next time. That wasn't as bad as I would have liked. But, yo, this is a perfect example of what not to do, you know? Like, if it's a girl that you fucking like, I'm telling you, if it doesn't seem like it's gonna work out, if she is not reciprocating the same energy as you, if she's not, like, at all willing to, like, entertain you, just move on and just go on to the next girl, you know? There's no need to be that guy. Because you're gonna just end up in the internet just like this guy, and you don't want that because it's there forever. And until next time.